it's an ongoing project, if you like. You fall in love, of course, and then you're married and have children, and that's not the end. It's something that you have to nurture and constantly pay attention and really check in with one another, like you do with how you nurture a friendship. If you don't invest time and energy and love into that friendship, you're going to lose the important thread.
It's so nice to see you, Penny.
Oh,
It's been a while.
See you too. I know.
It has been a while, but it's exciting because we have your book. In fact, I'm just going to grab it quickly. We have your memoir, Someone Like Me. It's out. How exciting. How does it feel now that it's out there?
It's wonderful to see it in its physical form. I mean, it took a lot of work, a lot of soul searching and digging to really reveal in detail all my life, from childhood to today. And the challenging thing for me was actually producing the audiobook that's also out today. Because I'm dyslexic, the idea of one day I would be writing my own book was never on my agenda or even in my wildest dreams. And then the fear of always having to stand up in class and read, which petrified the life out of me. And then I've just done an audio reading, and you have to perform it when you read it because you're reading to an audience. So it's been very cathartic and like therapy, really, getting all of my stories and all of the events, some traumatic and then some lots of fun and light and airy. It's been a wonderful process. I'm excited to share it.
But the audiobook's great because also it's nice that it's in your voice and we get to hear your story in your voice. And in the book, I mean, you do open up about so many things. It must take quite a lot of courage to kind of open up about everything. And why did you think now was the right time to do it?
I believe that, a lot of women, in their 50s, do get to that point, the menopause, as they used to call it, the change. And I think it's the reinvention, of course, where it seemed to be so daunting, especially when I first found out I was in the menopause. I thought I was going through depression until the loose women told me, no. I spot the signs. You're not depressed. It's the menopause. You just need your hormones back. And I think when you get into that perimenopause and that menopause, what biologically happens is you lose the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. So your veil, that protective layer, comes down, and you are revealed to the true person who you are. And you finally realise this is me. This is who I am. So it felt like the perfect time to kind of tell my story.
Oh, no, it's great. And I think a lot of women will also really appreciate that you've done that as well.
Well, I think that's why I have dug deep and been very honest and revealed everything, wore my heart on my sleeve, is because I think whatever you go through in life, doesn't matter what status or background or that you're from, we can all relate to one another because we've all gone through similar things, whether it's bullying, whether it's the difficulties growing up, traumas, whether it's childbirth or having kids, and we can all relate. And I think the more we chat and talk, the more those issues are shared, and they're halved, aren't they? All those problems are halved if we talk, and we don't feel alone anymore in those stories.
Hear. Absolutely. It's so true. Now, it's hard introducing you because you have so many strings to your bow. I mean, I was like, okay, what can we go? Photographer, model, TV star, author, women's safety campaigner, special constable, the woman with the legs, because the legs are amazing. Mum, wife, of course, you're married to Rod.
Stepmom.
That's it, stepmom as well. I mean,
Grandmum.
How do you do grandma as well? Oh my God. How do you do it all? And which of those roles is the most demanding?
I think being dyslexic, you learn differently, and you learn to pull out all the stocks and find your other skill sets, the ones that aren't the straight and narrow. So you end up putting a lot of different hats on. And I think that's what I find really exciting, is just taking on lots of different challenges. I didn't have the confidence when I was younger, but once I met hubby Rod, he was like, you can do this, you can do that. And kind of forged ahead and gave everything a go. And I love sort of spreading myself amongst it all, whether it's spreading my love to all his kids or just to kind of people in the street. I get women coming up to me in the shopping malls or at the Pilates class asking me all sorts of random questions because I've opened up about those experiences in my life, they want to share theirs with me. So it's so wonderful.
Yeah, but that's really nice to be someone that everyone wants to come and chat to and they trust you as well.
Yeah, I love that.
So I've got to ask you about Rod as well. Obviously, you know, he's been very supportive of the book and he's spoken about it a lot. How much input did he have with it as well? How much did he give you for it?
Um, Nothing actually, other than his support. It's like, this is your life, this is your story, and I trust everything you put in there is going to be honest and true. And you know, he knows that I have a real depth of empathy and understanding. So I'm very diplomatic, but yeah, I think the honesty kind of shines through. And there was one area, there might have been a couple of areas that I was like, unsure about, so I might have kind of read it. What do you think this sounds like? You know, but yeah, he just said, "Go for it, darling. You know, it's going to be wonderful." And he flew off a few days ago to America to start his next tour, and he's got his residency in Vegas. And he said, "I read half the book. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I love you. Congratulations." And then he sent me a little photograph of his bedtime reading, a picture of my book on his pillowcase. So it's lovely to have his support.
Oh, no, really nice. I mean, this is the thing. It's all go, go, go for you. I mean, you are married to a rock star, basically.
Funny enough.
But
Forgot about that.
how does it work? I mean, firstly, to find time to write a book must be quite hard because you are always travelling, jet setting, on the go. There's always something going on.
Well, yeah, it's funny because there was, I like to feel my life packed. I mean, Rod's like that as well. So we're always, you know, fingers on lots of different pies. But while I was doing my special police constabling, I got an injury, not on the job, but in my time off, and I tore a meniscus in my knee.
Oh, no.
And then I ended up damaging my femur, and then I had to be signed off duty. So I was in a leg brace and crutches, and that devastated me. The only thing I was worried about was not potentially having knee surgery, which luckily I didn't have to, but was with the idea that I couldn't go out on the beat. So I was like, what am I going to do with my time? You know, how can I fill these extra hours? And then the opportunity for a book came along, and I thought, perfect timing. So I did get the chance to really kind of soak into that moment and to that challenge.
Yeah, you see, it takes an injury to sit
Yeah,
down.
I know.
I can't move. Let's do it now. Am I right in saying, is it 18 years married now?
18 years married, yeah.
Oh, wow. 25 years together. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what is the secret to this? I mean, this is lots of people will be looking at you. You're a very successful marriage. What is the secret?
I don't think there's any like special spell or secret to it. I think it's an ongoing project, if you like. You know, you fall in love, of course, and then you're married and have children, and that's not the end. You know, it's something that you have to nurture and constantly pay attention and really check in with one another, like you do with how you nurture a friendship. You know, if you don't invest time and energy and love into that friendship, you know, you're going to lose the important threads. You know, there's always that foundation, and you know, when you don't see a friend for a long time, and that person that's so special to you, when you do see them, it feels like it was only yesterday.
Yeah.
But in a marriage, when you're seeing each other all of the time, don't take it for granted that it will just always be solid. You have to always pay attention to that person and make sure that they're doing okay, and to make those little quality moments together, whether it's just a walk in the garden or a coffee or a special night out. It's like always finding that time for one another.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's true, isn't
And communication and you know, honesty. And if you're having a row, just don't go to bed on that row. You know, clear the air but don't bury the hatchet.
Yeah. It's interesting as well. It's lovely reading about how you met. And I just think it goes to show you never know when or where you're going to meet the one, do you?
You never know when or how. Yeah, any experiences in life come along. I mean, the good and the bad. You just have to live in the moment and live true to yourself. And I think if you give love and kindness, then it will surely just come back in folds. And likewise, if you're a negative person and if you inject kind of bad vibes, then that's only going to turn around. You know, I say to people, like, don't worry about the things you can't control. You know, just focus on the positive and the things that you can help, and leave the rest to take care of itself.
Yeah. The family is forever growing.
Yes.
Is there another grandchild on the way?
there has been another
Oh, it has
grandchild.
been another one. Oh my
There's 5 now.
Yes, this is forever. Oh my goodness, it is forever growing. And then obviously, Rod's on tour then and got the residency. You've got the book as well. Do you know? Have you kind of got the next 12 months mapped out? I feel like
Probably the next 2 years mapped out, actually.
what's in store for 2026 for you?
Oh, well, there's a few projects in the line. I always believe that the book wasn't going to just be a project, a tick box, right, done the book, on the shelf, next. I really wanted the book to have legs. I mean, it covers everything from bullying to dyslexia to being a victim of crime, policing, of course, menopause, pregnancy, miscarriage, IVF. There's so many moments in my life that could be expanded and pushed forward in other mediums, maybe documentaries or something, podcasts, but areas that I feel so passionate about and the charities, that I feel that there's so much more that can be done about having these conversations and helping other people that can relate to all of this. That's what I see.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. And Penny, I hope you don't mind, because I want to know, as do millions of other women, how do we get legs like you? What do we have to do? What do you do? Are you like lunging all the time?
Well, I mean, it does help being 6'1".
Yeah.
I've always had a bit of a struggle with my weight, and when I was at school, I was always the tallest, taller than all the girls, but also taller than all the boys. So I had the mickey taken out of me and that. And I used to wear like 3 pairs of tights to make my legs look thicker. I used to stuff my bra. I was so self-conscious about being skinny. Then when I left school and I entered into the modelling world, I was told I wasn't skinny enough. I used to starve myself and take salt tablets, and so my body image hasn't been great, but I've always had these legs. I remember someone saying, I used to wear a short skirt, and at school, the teachers say, Penelope, that skirt is too short. It should be longer. And I said, no, miss, it's not my skirt. It's my legs are too long. It's always been a thing about my legs. And then I'd be teased, by people when I was older, is that skirt short enough? And I went, no, actually it's not. And I'd roll it up and make it shorter. So it's always been a kind of a subject. But it's the one area that I suppose where my confidence lies. Wherever I put weight on or lose weight, they seem to sort of stay true.
Oh my God, they're amazing. I'm so jealous. They're brilliant. And looking back at everything that's happened, and I mean, there's so much. And what I love in the book as well, there are so many gorgeous pictures. And because we've known you, it feels like, for 25 years. So I feel like looking at all these photos, I feel like I've gone on a journey with you. Do you still have pinch me moments, or have you just experienced it all now and nothing's a surprise anymore?
Everything's a surprise. Every day there's joy, isn't there? And you can take a positive out of everything. I'm very much like a glass half full kind of person, and it is most certainly a pinch me. I was saying, the fact of being dyslexic, I'm an ambassador of the British Dyslexia Association, and I did a podcast with them and talking about my fears and how I feel like I was pushed aside and told I wouldn't make anything of myself. So the whole turnaround and where I am now is a sort of testament, I suppose, to just forging forward and thinking positively and finding your true self and the skill sets and what I have to offer, because everyone has something.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just ask one final question, and it's basically, I mean, Rod accredited you with getting him match fit and confident enough to do Glastonbury, which was epic.
It was incredible,
epic.
wasn't it?
How close was he to pulling out?
Well, he'd just done this huge mammoth tour. He, turning 80, decided I want to do 80 shows this year to celebrate 80th. I'm like, you're supposed to be slowing down. Like, you've seen the finish line and you're sprinting for it. Like, but you can't stop the man. He loves it so much. But having done this extraordinary tour, on the back end of it, he had to cancel 3 shows because he got the worst flu ever. I mean, I wasn't with him at the time. And, there's man flu, but this was serious. It was influenza 1, and it knocked him sideways. He couldn't move. And he came home and he still had this sort of leftover residual symptoms. And he said, look, darling, I really don't think I'm going to make it through. My voice, and I've been warming up and it's not there. And he was sort of in this state of panic. He said, I don't want to let all these people down. And I said, look, stop it. Like, it was like talking to one of my kids, you know, when they're going through like a negative moment, like you just have to lift them and inspire them and all this. And he said, oh, I can see the headlines now. And I went, yeah, I can see them too. It's going to say it was spectacular, you were on fire, and this is how we're going to move forward. And I got him to the doctors, I got him to the voice coach, and I got this and that, and all these new kind of like breathing apparatus and the steam machine, and I said, we've got this, and like together as a team we just like forged forward. And then I said, look, it's all in your head, darling. Physically you're going to be fine, you just got to get your head around this. And then he did, and he was amazing, of course.
And he's still got a million more tour dates to go.
Exactly.
Oh, well, look, it's been so lovely to chat to you. Someone Like Me, which I just told here, is out now, and the audiobook.
And the audio
as well. It has honestly been a joy to see you again as well.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.